Let's dive into this incredible story about Polaris Dawn. Imagine this, 4 people, not your typical NASA astronauts, just spent 5 days in space, and they made history along the way. This crew, led by billionaire Jared Isaacman, went further into space than anyone has gone in over 50 years. And they pulled off the world's first commercial spacewalk. A spacewalk, like floating around outside the spaceship with nothing but a suit between them and the vastness of space. So here's how it went down. The crew launched from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida inside SpaceX's Dragon capsule, which they fittingly named Resilience. The crew wasn't just experienced pilots or scientists, they were a mix of people you would never expect to see up there. Alongside Jared Isaacman, we had Scott, a retired Air Force pilot, and 2 SpaceX employees, Sarah and Anna. This was a pretty big deal because they reached an altitude of 1,400 kilometers, that's 870 miles. To put that into perspective, it's higher than any human has flown since the Apollo missions back in the early 70s. And until now, spacewalks were strictly for professional astronauts trained by government agencies. But not anymore. Jared Isaacman and Sarah Gillis took a giant leap, literally, by becoming the first non-professional crew to step outside their spacecraft. And since the Dragon capsule doesn't have an airlock, they had to depressurize the entire crew compartment, which meant the whole team was exposed to the vacuum of space, which is pretty risky. But they had these special suits with advanced technology that kept them safe. And while they were up there, they weren't just sightseeing. They conducted over 40 different experiments. Some were about understanding how space affects the human body. Others tested new communication technology. And here's a fun fact you might not know. Sarah Gillis brought her violin and played Rey's theme from Star Wars. She broadcasted it back to Earth using SpaceX's Starlink satellite technology. And this was all a part of a collaboration with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to raise awareness and support. And after 5 intense days, it was time to come home. And the re-entry was no walk in the park. The Dragon capsule heated up to around 1900 degrees Celsius, about 3500 degrees Fahrenheit, as it pushed through the atmosphere at speeds of up to 7,000 miles per hour. But they made it. The capsule splashed down safely off the coast of Florida. SpaceX confirmed, splashdown of Dragon confirmed, welcome back to Earth. Talk about a momentous achievement. NASA called this mission a giant leap forward for the commercial space industry. Remember, until now, only government space agencies had done stuff like this. Polaris Dawn showed that with the right technology and people, private companies can go further than we ever thought possible. And this isn't the end, it's just the beginning. There are 2 more Polaris missions in the pipeline, including the first crewed flight of SpaceX's Starship, which is still in development. So that's the story of Polaris Dawn, a bold step into the future of space travel. It proves that space isn't just for government astronauts anymore. It's becoming more accessible, pushing the limits of what we can do and how far we can go. As always, like and subscribe for more updates.